Alrighty, so I guess now we're going to jump to a USACO question level here. So for instance, we have a USACO question, which is a Cow College. This is a pretty good question because you can definitely implement some ideas and inspirations from this question to stock market trading or option call put strategy stuff here. Because the question is asking you to find the most optimal solutions with the least amount of uh, operations or maybe the least amount of trading or maybe the numbers of something, right? If you read the question closely, right? Okay. So first of all, you need to pass these two kinds of data, right? First one is going to be the number of whatever the objects, but in terms of this question, it's the number of students, right? And then the following line is basically the willing or the preferable tuition the student wants to pay. In terms of real world situation, can be like stock market volatility or a certain stock price or a portfolio management, right? Okay. And then what am I going to do? All right. So I would just do this again. All right. Okay. But before you set up everything, all right. So you usually you need to have the include this one is going to be this dash std c++ period h, right? And then you have to use using name space std, right? And then first of all, it is going to be integer, and that is basically how many tuition or how many students, well, or how many objects this question is asking for, right? And then you're using cin, right? And then you're passing the data uh, you're passing the data to in here, right? And then if you run the code, it's basically allowing to pass some data here, maybe 12, and then that's it, right? Okay. And then the next one is going to be you have to create a vector. So vector is going to be integer. You can call that maybe preferable tuition PT and just declare that, right? And then you have to use a for loop to pass the data in manually or not manually by using the iteration, right? Okay. And then this is less than n and I plus plus. And definitely you also need to create, for instance, the tuition, right? So I would just call it lowercase pt, and that is going to be this. And then you have to use the cin again. So you pass the cin, you pass the pt into the cin, and then guess what? You need to have the pushback, right? So pt period push back pt, right? All right, and then whenever you have done these, you're able to you're able to input the data, right? So and then I'm using C out to test it, right? And that is going to be PT and with I and with a little good UI here, right? And then run this code one more time and let's see what is going on. I have four and a one, six, a four, and a six, and then I have one, four, six, and four, six, right? Okay. And the question itself is basically finding the optimal solutions and with the least amount of numbers, right? Okay. Therefore, it leads you to think, okay, am I able to sort because first of all, you see it's a 10 to the power of 5, right? If you use a double loop, because it's a matching problem, right? Matching problem, usually you need to have to use a double loop or nested loop, right? But this is 10 to the power of 5 is a bit too chunky, right? If you use a double loop, it's a 10 to the power of 10. Well, it go beyond the boundary, right? So therefore, you probably want to think, am I able to use a single loop? A single loop usually not going to work, right? But what if you can sort it? If you are going to use a sort method, you have to ask yourself, all right, okay, would the position matters in this question? So the answer is position doesn't really matter, right? Because the question just wants you to find the optimal solution. So therefore, I mean, it has nothing to do with the position stuff. So therefore, you can you can definitely confidently to use what to use Sort method, right? Absolutely. Okay. So this is how would you start your algorithm here? So first off, all right, so you have a vector, and then your very first move is going to be like, okay, PT and the period of sort, and you have act that is a Python code, right? You need to sort and the PT period of begin, and then what? You have to have PT period end, right? So this is how would you sort a vector here. There we go. And let's see. Guess, uh, yeah, this is all you need to do, right? Okay. And then, and then you can print it again, right? You can use the previous code one more time, and then you have 4 1 6 4 6, and then you have a 1 4 6 6, right? Okay, there we go. Good. And then all you need to do is okay. So if okay, see out maybe underline. And then 4 1 6 4 6, and then you have 1 4 6 6. Then by checking, you find out one principles here, right? If if a Parmesan picks one as a preferable tuition, the rest of the students, right? They're willing to pay the price because it's lower than 4, lower than 6, lower than 6, right? But the total income is going to be 4 times one, right? Apparently, I guess it's not optimal income, right? And then if Parmesan pick a 4, apparently we do not worry about the first one because it's a sorted, right? And then which is a 4 times the rest. So therefore, ideally, what we could do is basically we want to create integer, but however, the question indicates the result can be beyond the 32-bit integer. So you want to use a 64-bit integer. So that's why you want to use a long here. And you probably need to modify the previous code a little bit as well. So for these, you can call them best tuition. So the best tuition, I would just put a 0 here, right? Okay, initialize it. And then guess what? Now I guess I can confidently use a single loop to solve the problem, right? Okay. And then I plus plus, right? So, and I do need to create a formula here. The formula is going to be the current total tuition, right? I'll just call it a T. So T, guess what? It's going to be something times a something, right? What is something? The something right here is going to be I would say it's a PT of R, right? So therefore I can get 1 in the first iteration. How many students would be willing to take it? It's basically n minus I, right? So I start at 0, so the 4 minus 0 is a 4. 4 times that is going to be this, right? Okay. And then I'm going to also make a comparisons here. So for instance, if t is bigger than if bigger than what? If that is bigger than my best BT, right? So definitely my best BT is going to be T, right? Okay, so then I can update it that. And in the meanwhile, I also need to count what? This, oh no, this is the total tuition, the total income. TI is going to be 0 as well. So I guess this is going to be TI, right? This is a TI. I also need to update my best tuition preference rate. Okay, so that is basically I have TI is larger than T, right? Then I'm going to modify that, right? And in meanwhile, so best T is also modified by the current PT, right? Okay, exactly. And then I guess if I compile this code, I'm going to have what I really want, right? So first one is going to be based on the question itself is I need to know the total incomes, which is the TI total income, right? And then I need to have a little space here, and then I need my best BT here, and then let's give it a go, right? So this is a very easy the T I need to declare it, right? So integer T is that, and then I can modify that right here, right? Assign the value. All right, this is a very easy USACO question. Very first question. All right, 1, 6, 4, 6, and then I get, oh, I have a 0, 0. Then let's check out what is going on here. It looks like I have a t here, so t is n. Do I have an, do you have an n minus I and times a pti? So pti, I think I should have something here. And if ti, where is t? Oh, you know what? T. If a T is better than TI, right? So then I need to assign the TI here. Then C. Okay. For these is okay because it's just well the logical operators here. And then 1, 6, 4, and 6. I have 12 and 4. Perfectly right. Okay. And overall the time complexity is going to be what? The time complexity is going to be O of n log n, right? It can pass the question perfectly. All right. Okay. So this is the C++ code, and all right. So now, Alex, I want you to go over these and submit this out your end. Sounds good?
Can you send it in like
The chat? Sure.
yeah.
And of course, I'll be sending the result uh, as the Google Docs as well. But just in case, all right, in the real contest, you don't quite need this line, and you don't quite need this line. For this, just for testing, just for testing. So overall, it's just a couple of lines like that. It will do the work perfectly. All right. I'm going to do that one more time. So 4, 1, 6, 4, and 6, and then yes, nice and easy, right? Neater. Okay. Okay. I'm going to send out these data as well. Okay, there we go.